morning and welcome to GrainTV.
Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV today.
Cody, what's your favorite number out of this morning's barrage of data?
Yeah, I'd say that. Good morning and welcome to GrainTV. Today is October 12th. This is the WASDE report day. They come out with supply and demand estimates, and they didn't really have a lot of surprises in there. Brock, can you tell us what happened in corn?
Yeah, basically for corn, we saw them leave the yield, the expected yield to be unchanged at 148.1. The industry was kind of expecting it to be revised upwards after some good yield results have been coming out of the Midwest. We didn't see that happen, so I'm looking at that for being slightly supportive for the market this morning as we get into the day session here in just a few minutes. Basically, where we saw some cuts made were in the planted acres was actually revised lower by 400,000 acres. Harvested acres were cut by about 500,000, so that's ultimately going to end up affecting our production, which we saw lowered by about 64 million bushels. Not a big surprise there, but it is lower than what the industry was actually expecting. What did you see on soybeans, Cody?
Well, we saw harvested acres cut slash a little bit, 100,000 acres lower. We saw yield 0.3 bushels an acre, also lower. Beginning stocks lower, production lower by 25 million bushels. However, we did see a decrease in exports, which tended that offset all those different things. Bottom line here, ending stocks will be down about 5 million bushels, according to the USDA. Brock, if you had to summarize corn, are you thinking this is bullish? Is this bearish? How are you, do you think the market has it baked in? What's your thoughts?
Well, on the supply side of things, I think that's going to be slightly supportive for the market today. So we didn't see a whole lot of revisions upwards, bigger production or anything like that. But on the export front, we did see that revised 50 million bushels lower going forward for this year. But we also saw beginning stocks increase 208 million. So I'm looking at that as pretty bearish right now. The ending stocks were actually revised about 194 million higher, so I'm looking at that as being pretty bearish as well. So.
Yeah, for those that watched the price action yesterday and were a little bit shocked at the just the persistence and the size of the move yesterday, especially before this report, it looks as though China did some buying yesterday, did some buying for beans, about 700, 800,000 tons of beans, to restock their state reserves. And it looked like they also did some corn buying. So, that should also play a big role in the market this morning, since the numbers really didn't surprise anyone.
Yeah, I don't think these numbers are going to shock anyone any way or the other. The calls are for this morning for corn to be up 3 to 5, soy to be up 5 to 10, and wheat to be up 3. So not a big change from what the overnight was doing. But where we do see the change coming yesterday was that Russia actually stepped in and said that they're only going to be exporting up to 24 million metric tons. Anything above that, they're actually going to be putting export levy on. So that's going to make our exports more competitive on the world front. So that's why we saw the market really take off yesterday when that information came out.
And considering, Russia, wheat yield and wheat supply and demand, 45.2, they revised the yield down from 45.2 to 43.9. Ending stocks were raised 76 million bushels, and they cited that lower feed use and lower expected exports was the reason. So despite the fact that yields came down, ending stocks actually popped up because they're just not expecting the robust use and exports this year. World supplies were up 5.4 million tons, citing Australia having a great year this year for production, and Kazakhstan. So those are the two items. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we're going to come back, we'll watch the market open. Welcome back to GrainTV. Today the market is opening here. We're seeing slightly lower prices. Brock, can you walk us through it?
Yeah, basically what we see on corn is it's down about 6 to 6 1/4 right now at 6.39 on December. Soybeans are up about 1 to 1.5, and wheat is really taking it on the chin right now, down 21. I think those ending stocks are really what's propelling the market lower today.
Yeah, the ending stocks, you have increased global supplies. All in all, it just seems quite bearish for wheat. The only thing supporting is that little bit of news that we saw yesterday out of Russia that could play a role a little bit later in the year.
Yeah, I think the initial shock of that is pretty much factored in the market now, but we will see that continue to be a factor as we go forward here for the next few months or so.
You know, Brock, let's go back and just go through those numbers again, just so that everyone really has a firm grasp on them. I'm going to flip back here, and we'll go to the ending stocks. Can you talk to me a little bit about the ending stocks for corn and where analysts were expecting this?
Yeah, we were expecting it to be quite a bit lower than what we actually came out to see realized. We're up about 74 million from what we were in what the analysts were expecting. And most of that actually came from our beginning stocks being revised up by about 200 million in the September quarterly stocks report. So that's not a big surprise, already factored in the market. Taken away from that, though, is we're going to have lower production, but adding to it again is going to be lower exports. So all those factored together, we end up with about 194 million increase in our ending stocks for next year. So,
well, that sounds fair enough. I think that's pretty much going to summarize today's show. Slightly brief, a more brief show. We will have a more in-depth analysis on Thursday. We'll look a little bit at export sales and see what really has come out, what came to fruition in terms of export sales to China. Of course, anything that they bought yesterday won't show up until next week's show. Anyway, appreciate the tune in, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Number's 877-GRAIN07. Click here right now, and you can actually take a demo. You can click anywhere in this video that you're watching, and you can go right to our website and take a demo and watch the live quotes unfold for themselves.